Hello and welcome to your weekly bite into the strawberry of electric car news and chat from the team at electrifying.com. This week, we're going to be talking about how Goodwood Festival of Speed has gone electric. There are more Chinese brands on the way, and we'll be discussing how Tom has been breaking cars. Plus, of course, we'll be answering your electric car questions, dipping into the postbag to find out what you've had to say. Welcome to the Kilowatt Half Hour. I'm Ginny.
I'm Nicola.
And I'm Tom.
Naughty Tom.
Naughty Tom, what you done? What you done?
My fault. Wasn't my fault.
Did they ban you? Have you been banned from Mercedes launches forevermore?
No, so I went on a Mercedes launch to go and drive the new CLA, which I can't talk about yet, obviously. But what happened was we were parked up and Manos, the cameraman, just said, can you straighten the wheels a bit? So rather than get in the car, press the button, do all that, I
Can I just interrupt? That was Larry shouting at you.
That was Larry, yeah.
Saying
He's very cross.
Bad boy. Sorry, go on. Carry on.
So I opened the door, reached in and just pulled the steering wheel like that, just to get the wheels a little bit straighter.
Mm.
The car didn't like that.
Mm.
So when we got back in the car, the power steering had gone. So I was like, right, okay, well, I'll turn it on and off again. So I got out of the car, turned it off, pressed the lock button, walked away. No good. Tried it again. No, nothing. So I thought, well, I'm used to driving old cars. I can get away without power steering, which was fine, except on mini roundabouts when it was a bit... On motorways, I think it actually felt better than it did with power steering. Anyway, we decided that we should probably pull over and let Mercedes know. So we pulled into an IKEA in Copenhagen.
Stunning.
And went for a hot dog. And they sent somebody out to come have a look at it. And of course, by the time he got there, it fixed itself. And what he explained is that, you have to do a hard reset. And that means you have to walk away further than 10 meters because then the car knows you're not really there. And then it fixed itself.
So sorry.
So that was the problem.
We have questions.
I fixed it. Hang
on a minute. Mm-hmm. Did you turn the wheel while the car was off? Is that what you tried to do? And then that's
what I tried to do.
Right. So it's 100% your fault. This is not Mercedes' fault. This is all your fault. You shouldn't do that when the car is off when there's power steering, really.
Why not?
Because it is going to damage the car. You need to turn the car on to be able to turn the steering wheel. Because you don't.
How's it damage the car?
Because you shouldn't do it.
Well, it's exactly the same stresses and strains on it. It's only me that gets the extra stress and strain because I don't have the help of an electric motor. But what it did was just upset its little electronics.
I mean, to be fair, I have spent a lifetime of straightening and angling wheels when the cars are off with power steering, and I don't think I've ever broken power steering before.
Is it just that you're really strong, Tom?
I think it is.
Must be.
Popeye is your new nickname now. Popeye Tom.
Send in some spinach, please, to the Electrifying HQ.
So you drove something else yesterday. Did you break that too?
I didn't. That didn't break at all. And it's a strange car. It's a Mazda 6e, which I'd kind of forgotten about, even though I did a walk-around video of it at the beginning of the year. And I thought, wow. And you look at the figures on it, and it looks like a bit of an Orso-Ran. But I really liked it. I mean, it's just one of those cars where the range on the one you'd want is like 300 miles. Mm-hmm. And it's not that fast and it doesn't charge that quickly, but everything's all right. But it's a really nice car to be in. And it's quite nice to drive too. And I just thought it's a bit like, you have mates who you go out and you'll have a wild time, but there's something irritating about them. There's not quite, and you couldn't put up with them the whole time. And then you've got other mates who are just steady and they're really good and they're good fun to be with, but no one's going to talk about them that much. Yeah. It was like that. I just thought this is the type of car you could live with every day and you wouldn't really have a problem with it. And you'd think, yeah, this is really nice. And the interior, better than the Mercedes probably.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really nice, high quality interior. It just feels special.
So what's the rivals then? Because again, it's a car that it's been so busy, hasn't it, Nick? I mean, literally, the last few months, I can't keep up with what we've driven, what we haven't. That's a car that has passed me by a bit. So what's it? What we're choosing it up against?
Yeah, they haven't told the prices yet. Although in Europe, it's €44,000. So that's kind of high 30s here, I suppose. So that's a Tesla Model 3, but it's bigger. It's the same size as a Volkswagen ID7 in terms of length.
Oh, so it's quite
nice
big.
Big boot. Yeah, huge in the back. Really nicely equipped. So nobody's going to look at it and go, right, okay, a 300-mile range, that's not that impressive these days. 160 kilowatt charging's not that impressive these days. But it was really nice. I thought, you could live with this as a family car.
But it's all going to depend on pricing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's going to be the big issue. That's, so. Anyway, Nick, what have you been driving? Have you broken anything, more to the point?
No, I haven't broken anything. I've been thoroughly behaving myself. So just gone live yesterday is the Ioniq 6N. The Hyundai Ioniq 6N, where I went to lovely Calvert Studios to go and have a little walk around it. Do you know what? What a beautiful thing, and what an impressive bit of machinery. It has blown my mind, this car. Hyundai are absolutely onto a winner at the moment. Everything that they're churning out, I think, is just incredible. I'm a fan of Korean cars anyway. But to go and see this, I mean, we all know that the 5N is great, but knowing that this is a much sleeker design makes you know that this is going to be way more fun. But for me, it's the technology underneath. So you've got like 650 horsepower. It's stupidly fast, 0 to 62 in like 3.2 seconds. It's insane. And the design I really, really like. But it's, for me, how they've done the drift mode. So on the 5N, you just press the drift button and then you can have a bit of fun and it can mess around with the wheels, etc. But this time around, it uses the regen braking. So instead of... Great. If you were to drift a normal car, you'd be using the brake or you'd be using the handbrake or doing whatever you've got to do, and it's a whole sort of dance to be able to make it work. But this time round with the 6N, all you've got to do is if you've got your regen on full blast, like up to one pedal driving, you just have to lift off the accelerator and it will then lock the rear wheels and then get them spinning at the back, going the opposite ways, and it will drift beautifully just using regen.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That does make me very happy.
Yeah.
That makes me think the world's gone crazy. I mean, who's going to use a drift mode? Who's going to do it?
It makes you run back to your Mazda.
It does.
It's a really interesting thing, this, isn't it? Who's going to do it? It's such a good kind of question. Nicola will do it, obviously. But there just seems, whether it's because this week is Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Yeah.
So you've also driven the Skoda Elrock VRS this week as well, another performance car. So tell us about that, and then we'll come on to the...
I can actually tell you about it because there's no embargo on that, so I can tell you about it, right? That is not quite as powerful as the Ioniq 6N, so it's got like 350 horsepower, but honestly, that's all you need. And it drives beautifully. I was so impressed by it. We went up to Wales, like the middle of Wales, and the roads there are absolutely stunning. And I was throwing it. I felt so bad for George, cameraman, sat in the back, because I thought, oh God, he's going to throw up. But I was really rocking it and throwing it everywhere. But they've got a thing called dynamic chassis control, right? And the options that you've got there's like 15 levels of options of how you want to set the car. And if you have it all the way up to sport, you can rag it round a corner and even get the back end out a little bit. And it just manages to control it. And then put it all the way over to comfort, and it's like you're in a normal family car. It's so impressive. Very nice.
But I think we've had that this week. We've had the Ioniq 6N, which again, I completely agree. I think it looks lovely, actually. Yeah. I've got to say, I was a bit like, not that. I'm not sure about that. And then I saw your video, and I saw it down at Festival of Speed yesterday. And if you are heading down there, go and take a look at it. It's a stunning thing.
It is.
It's really stunning.
Yeah.
It is one of those cars that you think you do have to see to appreciate it. But also down there, we've got the Renault Turbo 3E making its appearance on the Renault stand, which is an absolutely fantastic and just fun and bonkers piece of kit, completely insane. And it's made me think that actually when you were down there yesterday walking around, there's this thing called Electric Avenue, which I don't even know if it's still there, because you don't need to go to Electric Avenue, because every manufacturer worth their salt down there has got some kind of really fun, sporty performance electric car on their stand.
Yeah.
They all have now. And I know, Tom, there is that, who's going to do it, as you said, but you could say that about M Sport cars. What was the point of them? Who would buy them? What was all that? But there is a market for this. And I think what it just shows is just how versatile electrification is and how much fun you can have with it. Mm-hmm. And that Turbo 3E is off the scale. It was so fun seeing it there yesterday. So it's in a box, it's in a glass case. It almost looks like a massively supersized model car.
Yeah.
And the reason it's in this glass case, this massive glass case on the stand, is because it's so blooming hot down there that they're worried it will melt. So it's in a glass case with a massive air conditioning unit at the back. So if you go down and see that, you can see it's the only thing at Goodwood.
Way.
I was begging, can I go in the box with the car? I'm just way too hot. They wouldn't let me in. And I think the concerns are there may be some elements of it inside that are clay, but also the glues, and none of it's production, of course. So it's in there, and it looks fantastic. My goodness me, I had a lot of people around it looking at it. So I was chatting, I had a really good chat with this guy called Michael Grosjean. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce Grosjean. So he's like the chief project manager for the Renault 5 Turbo 3E. And he was just saying that it's the most exciting thing he's ever worked on. So this thing is bonkers. So it's going to start at around 135 grand.
Sure.
You know, the performance is just off the scale. But they're only making 1,980 of them, which is obviously a throwback to the original turbo. And he told me yesterday they've sold 1,000 already. So
that does not surprise me.
So this is of a car that's going to be upwards of 135 grand, and you can spec it and do whatever you want. So customers are going to spend 200 grand upwards on that car by the time they've got it to how they want. And they've sold 1,000 already. 60 to 70, he reckoned, have been sold in the UK, gone to UK buyers. And so I was saying, oh, God, left-hand drive, that's going to be an interesting car in left-hand drive. He's like, no, we're doing a right-hand version, right-hand drive version. We're doing it for Japan, Australia. We think there's a big enough market there, the UK. And it just made me really excited listening to him. And it made me think, this is the brilliant stuff about EVs. We have got everything now from, your Mazda that's, a bit, not going to set the world on fire, but it's a perfectly good car, to these extreme cars.
Can I give you some bad news about that?
Go on, give me some bad news.
They're not going to have one on the press fleet.
The 3E.
They're not going to have one on the press fleet.
I know they're not.
I've tried.
No, I know. I unfortunately they're not. But the good news is that it's going to. So they're going to start building prototypes early next year, and he was kind of pretty much confirming to me that there will be one going up the hill at Goodwood Foss next year.
Oh, amazing!
Which will be amazing to see, because
right. So how do we get a passenger ride in that? How do we do that?
I am on it already.
Thank you.
Go on. Sorry, Tom.
You could just buy one. That would be the simplest.
Oh, I could just buy one, couldn't I? Just add to the British the British buys. The other thing I thought was cool was I said, so obviously, what numbers are you keeping for yourself? Because you'd think like number 5 of that they want for their heritage collection. And he said the only number that's being kept is the 1,980. Customers can just choose whatever they want. So somebody has already bagged the 5, which,
nice.
How cool.
Nice.
If you are that person, let us know in the comments below. I very much doubt you're listening, but it would be great to hear from you if you are. So I think there was a lot of really interesting electric stuff yesterday down there. What caught your eye down there, Nick?
I had a good old mooch. It was boiling yesterday. It's going to be even hotter because I'm going back there again today. I'm with Red Bull today, so I'm going to be in the Formula One section with Red Bull, talking to David Coulthard. So yesterday I went to the supercar paddock, and I had a little look at the new Corvette E-Ray, which by the name you would assume would be electric, but it's not. It's a hybrid powertrain. It looks lovely. It's going to be 153 grand. It's like 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. It did go up the hill yesterday, and it looks absolutely stunning. But it was one of those where they invited me along to come and have a look, and I was like, oh, E-Ray? Interesting.
Yeah.
And then I went, it's a hybrid.
It's going to be electric. It's got to be with a name like E-Ray. It's a bit naughty, isn't it, that?
It's a bit naughty, but it is a lovely looking thing. I can't knock it. And then yesterday afternoon, can I tell you about this? Yesterday afternoon, I got invited by Toyota to do the rally stage and to be like a passenger in a rally car. And I was like, yes, please. Yes, that sounds wonderful. And then it was total luck of the draw, the timing of me being there, that I was put in a Dakar car.
Amazing.
With Seth Quintero driving it. And I spent some time with him last year when I was out in Saudi for the Dakar Rally, hosting it for Red Bull TV. And I sat in the car and I just could not believe my luck. I mean, we spent 3 weeks out in the Saudi desert trying so hard to get me a passenger ride during a shakedown or something like that. And we just couldn't make it happen. And then we suddenly made it happen an hour from my house. That's the joys of Goodwood. That's what Goodwood's all about. You can see a mixture of you can walk around a Ford Puma Gen E and then you can watch David Coulthard do some donuts in an RB8. That's the joys of Goodwood. It's a magnificent event. Everyone's on top form. Everyone is so friendly. You can walk around, sit inside some cars, see such an eclectic mix of things that you never thought you would see before. And it's the best event of the year, in my humble opinion.
I think for me, have you ever done the rally stage at Goodwood, Tom? Have you ever been? That for me is the best bit.
Oh,
I mean, I think you've been up the hill though at Goodwood, I'm sure. Have you done that, Tom?
I have, yeah.
And I don't know about you, but whenever I've driven up the hill, I've just been a bit terrified. Because you don't want to be the one that puts the car into the wall, do you?
Yeah.
I think going up the hill, if you're able to do the donuts in front of the house and all that, super fun. But the going up the hill, it's fun. It's not as fun as going on the rally stage. Oh. That is on another level of excitement and thrill, particularly if you've got someone really handy at the wheel, like you obviously had. Yes. What was your experience going up the hill at Goodwood, Tom? Was it a good one or?
Well, not really. But it was an electric car involved.
What did you break this time?
I didn't break anything. I think it was probably 25 years ago. And I was with General Motors and they said, do you want to drive up in our concept car, which was an electric concept car? I can't remember the name of it. Quite an elaborate thing. So, yes, and it had a big plexiglass roof with no air conditioning because it wasn't a real car. So I'm sat there drenched in sweat.
Oh, no.
And they said, off you go. So I went. So this is an electric concept car from 25 years ago. So you can imagine the electric motor was like...
just a milk float.
Yeah, it had a maximum speed of like 20 miles an hour. So I set off going up this hill and there's all the crowds looking at me going, boo, because they're expecting these supercars. And then, of course, after 30 seconds, they let off the next car. And the next car was Jamiroquai in an F50.
Oh, no.
Who instantly came up behind me.
And that man can drive.
And they're not allowed to overtake. So he's behind me doing all this swerving and things and stopping and doing burnouts for the crowd to get him happy. And I'm getting booed the whole way. So I got to the top of the hill and I got out and Jamiroquai was right behind me. And he got out and looked at me. I said, I'm really sorry. And he called me a very rude word indeed and then walked off.
Did he? No.
That's my claim to fame.
Oh my goodness.
It was very embarrassing.
Oh, Tom. It was. Oh, Tom.
Oh dear. Anyway, let's stick with Goodwood for a minute because Chinese brands at Goodwood yesterday. So we had MG revealing their new 2IM cars, which is a Model 3 and a Model Y rival that we still don't know too much about, but we're going to
be seeing next week.
We're seeing them, I think pretty soon, aren't we, Nick? You and I are going down to drive them both.
Week after next, I think.
Week
after, yeah.
So that happened. And then we have another new brand. We have Denza that's made an appearance.
Yeah. But they're from BYD, right?
They are. So it's quite an interesting thing, this. So it was originally a joint venture between BYD and Mercedes. So the one that we're really interested in is this Denza Z9 GT, which is a kind of Taycan Cross Turismo type, low slung shooting brake, a bit Estatian coupe-ish. Yes. And it's been designed by the same designer who did the Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione. So, there's some designers with, serious chops working at BYD now. So there'll be a hybrid, but we're obviously interested in the electric version. And it's got 3 motors, close to 1,000 horsepower. 0 to 60 is 3.4 seconds, which I think I read was faster than the Ioniq 5N. Don't know about the 6N. It's definitely faster than the BMW.
It's not faster than the 6N. But it's 3.2.
It's kind of on a par, isn't it? And it does this really weird party trick. So it can pivot 360 degrees.
I saw this on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I went on the stand yesterday to do it, to be in the car while it pivoted. Only it wouldn't pivot. So there on the Denza stand.
Pivot!
And there was... right in the centre, ready to do its party trick. And there's lots of people all around the edge watching and all being closed off. They've had to clear the stand. And you press the button to turn it into pivot mode. Nothing happened.
I love it. I love it.
Reset it all, you turn it on, you turn it off again, did it again, nothing happened. And basically what had happened, it's a separate battery that actually manages that 360-degree function. And the battery was too low. Obviously, really, really hot down there yesterday, which, as we know, will help to drain a battery. So there just wasn't enough. It was like 11% capacity, and it needs to have more in that separate battery to do it. So I had to literally turn it off. I had to get out of the car and very sort of like my head hanging a bit, walk off to the edge of people going, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? So my party trick that I was meant to be part of didn't happen.
No.
Oh, no. But it's worth, if you're heading down to Goodwood over the weekend, and definitely, if you haven't seen it, it's, if I'm going back down there as well today, and I'll be there on Saturday. So I think it's worth going to have a look at, because it does look fun, doesn't it? I don't know what would you use it for? I don't know. What would it do? What would you,
if you've got maybe if you've got a big square driveway and you want to drive in and drive out, and you don't
care about your tyres,
and you don't care about your tyres, and you don't care about leaving tyre marks on your driveway. I don't know.
Can I just point out that means you broke it, Ginny?
Oh, I didn't break it.
You did. So you've both broken cars and you've both had embarrassing moments at Festival of Speed. This is great. I'm feeling really good about myself right now.
Oi, Nicola, you've got time. Don't worry.
You're there today. Yeah. We'll arrange something.
Anyway, so no, I didn't break it. I'm not saying that.
You did.
Don't you think it's a bit odd? Because I think there's also Chery, which owns a Moda, had a new electric car there as well. But if you're these brands, you're new to the UK and you spend a lot of money on sponsoring things like the football championships and all that sort of thing to build up your brand. And BYD's done very well. I looked at the figures for this Mazda 6e drive, and BYD outsell Mazda now in the UK.
Wow.
And you think, well, so they've done really well. But then they introduced these sub-brands. So Chery's got Chery, Moda and JQ.
Yeah.
And people haven't heard of any of them. So why not concentrate everything on just one brand? I don't really get it. But
I don't know.
I guess
can't answer that.
But I guess the easy thing is, like, there's been all this kind of fanfare about the MGIM cars and also about Denza. But actually, they're cars that they're already selling in other parts of the world. So the IM cars are already on sale in Australia and, of course, in China. Denza is an existing brand in China. I was supposed to go out there earlier this year to drive them over there. And then we had problems with visas, and that's another story, so I didn't go. But so I guess it's just a case of, well, why not? It's not a massive deal for them, is it, if they're already there? I think the thing that I always find really interesting is looking at how much those cars cost in China and then how much we pay for them. And some of the price hikes that we get are really, I mean, you think if you could get them for the price they're sold at in China, they'd be amazing. So that the Denza I've just been talking about, for example, that's about 40 grand in China, £40,000, going to be upwards of 50 here. So, but yeah, right. I guess it's because they can, Tom, because they're not developing new models, are they?
Yeah, well, you think you'd prize off a badge and put on another one. Is the IM MG badged as an MG, or is it just an IM?
I couldn't get close to look at the badges.
I think I heard someone talking about it, saying that there is an MG logo. Well, it's not the MG logo. It's just MG, just in like, I don't know, Arial font that's been put on the car.
Comic Sans.
So you can see that it is. You can see that it is an MG, but it's not the official logo.
The interesting cars, though, I think there's some that I am looking forward to driving. I think they'll be be really interesting to see how they stack up against the M3 and the MY. So Tom, what else have we had? We've had.
Talking of prices, EV4 Kia EV4, 34,695.
Nice.
Now, I haven't seen that car. I haven't seen that car. So you have. Is that good? I mean, that's L-Rock money, isn't it? It's
L-Rock money. Yeah, it seems. I think it seems good. I think
that's pretty good.
I think that the challenge I've got with the EV4 is it's really quite out there in its styling. as you will see, we have a video of it on the YouTube channel, and we have pictures over at electrifying.com, and hopefully Manos will drop some pictures in. So you've got a sort of a saloon-y type version, and then you've got more of a sort of SUV version of it, a bit of a sort of hatchbacky thing. And I think the hatchbacky thing looks nicer. I don't know. I think I just need to see it out. You know, it was one of the, some cars, you've got to get them away from a studio and see them out in daylight on a road and drive them to really appreciate them. I have a sense that the EV4 is that. I wasn't massively wowed by it when I saw it in studio, but I've got an open mind on it. Yeah, that's about all I can say on that, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that kind of strange money, isn't it? If it starts at 34, then you know that the ones that you want will be
40.
40. And 40 is when you start going, oh, I could have a Tesla Model 3 for that, or I could have this, or I could have that. And that's tricky money, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it just all depends on what the spec is, doesn't it? And what the monthlies are coming in at. I mean, I'm sure it will be a good car because generally, as you said, Nick, you know, Korea is really pretty much, you know, they're doing great stuff with electrification. Hyundai and Kia and Genesis to an extent are great. Interestingly, they're not as much. Genesis just doesn't wow me as much as Hyundai and Kia.
Oh, I love a Genesis.
I know you do. I know you do.
Really
I always I see them in America and I always think, yeah, they look great. They look right in America. I don't know. What about you, Tom?
I love it. They're like the GV70, that little boost button, and the quality of everything you get inside is so stunning. And obviously I had the GV60 for a while as a long-termer for electrifying, and it just suited my life so well. I adored that car. I really did.
There are some interesting deals on GV60s at the moment.
Deals if you go for it if there's good deals.
Is it time for Barnard's bargain?
It could be, yeah. It's a GV60 Premium. It's a pre-registered car, so I think you look at their sales figures. It's, I think you had the only one as the long-termer, Nicola. There
is someone down the road from me that's got one, and I do get excited when I see it.
Yeah, then the sales figures don't look great, but so pre-registered, so they've obviously put some number plates on one and had them sitting around, and now they're trying to get rid of them. So
snap them up.
4-year deal, which is really good for one of these. 8,000 miles a year. You put 3,400 quid down, and it's £382 a month.
That feels like a lot of car for that, doesn't it?
It's like the same as a Kona.
Yeah, take it.
Like a Kona or something. It's just like, whoa.
You're getting a premium car for that price. That's insane. Yes.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Okay. So I'm going to take a moment to say, if you are watching on YouTube, which you may well be, could you please go over to your podcast platform and give us a follow on there? Because yes, we would all give our thumbs up and be really happy if you did that. Because we're in the top 5% of podcasts around the globe. Did you know that, Nicola?
Well, I said it on the podcast last week and the week before because it was in the script.
So we want to try and get in the top 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%. And while we love the fact that you join us on YouTube, hi, everybody watching on your smart TVs. Let's wave at everyone. Hi. It would also be great if you could follow us over on your podcast platform too, just in case one day you're in the car and you need a good podcast to listen to.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Right, car buying questions.
Have
we got any car buying questions, Tom?
Yeah, so Stephen Wensley says, we were talking about tall drivers, you might remember last week. I've also had no problems with Enyaq as a 6'4" driver because there was somebody who was asking Mike specifically if he had problems. Bear in mind that Mike, who's 6'5", used to edit a mini magazine and owned a few minis. So
and a smart car.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's the best person to ask. Yeah. He likes cramming himself in.
He's used to driving like this, isn't he, Mike?
With his knees.
If you're not watching this won't make sense to you, but my head is at a distinctly uncomfortable angle.
It is very funny watching Mike get into a car after Ginny's driven it. That's one of the best moments ever, seeing how much he has to move the seat.
Anyway, Stephen says, but my challenge is my kids are now approaching 6 foot themselves. The hunt continues for a car that will accommodate 3 6-foot teenagers in the second row comfortably. I've yet to find anything. He thinks the smart #5 might be worth a look. He's looked at lots of cars, Skodas, etc. Say that most are a 4+ one, as that middle seat in the back is not comfortable. Is our choice just the Buzz EV9 Ioniq 9s or anything else out there? Strange enough, actually, talking about that Mazda 6e, I did that thing of sitting in the back like we always do, and oh, this is lovely, this is really nice, the quality is great. And then I moved into that middle seat. It's like, oh, okay, because it's got a big glass sunroof, and there's a funny cutout thing there that just means even short-ass me was a bit like that. So not a Mazda 6e.
I mean, but he's looked at a lot, hasn't he?
He has,
Stephen, an awful lot, and ruled them all out.
6 Q6, Mini Countryman, Smart #3, L-Rock, Enyaq. Oh my goodness!
What about he hasn't done the Peugeots, has he? That 5008, 3008. What are they like in the back?
That's all right. I don't think that's really any different to what he's been experiencing, like in a Countryman, etc. Though, in terms of legroom.
I've actually got a suggestion for him because I went off last week to look at the new Kia EV5.
Oh, yeah. I watched a video.
We have a video on the channel, and there is information over at electrifying.com if you want to have a look at that. The rear seats are massive and the headroom is ginormous. So I'm putting it out there that you would probably get 3 teenagers in the back of that, because there is a lot of space in the back of that car. I was quite taken aback at
when
how
does
much
that go
space
into
there is.
production?
And I should know the answer to this, and I don't, because I don't think we properly know yet. But I mean, it's close. It's pretty close. I think it's the autumn. Right. I think cars are coming in the UK for the end of the year. I can find out a bit more, and we'll mention it on next week's podcast. I don't know, but that for me, the back seat space was big, really, really big. If you look at the video, bearing in mind I'm only 5'4", but I look like a child in it because there's so much space around me. And we set the front seat for Manos, and there was still loads of leg room. And it's also, those little indents you get under the seats that I love for putting your feet in. Yeah, they're really big. They're like really good sized under seat indents as well. So,
and for reference, Manos is what, a 6'2", something like that?
6'2", yeah. So I would chuck that in, but honestly, that's a massive list of cars that you've already been through.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't tried the Peugeots already, the E5008 is the big 7-seater, isn't it? Nikki's just about to start running one of those, so maybe we have a look at that on Monday when we are all at the barn. Anybody, let's throw this out to the listeners. Have you got an electric car that you could recommend to Stephen Wensley that would fit 3 6-foot teenagers in the second row comfortably at the moment?
6-foot teenagers, though, 3 of them, bloody hell.
I know.
I've found from personal experience the best way of transporting teenagers is with an app called Uber. That way you don't have to put up with their grunting and moaning and
make them walk.
Smell of pheromones.
That's true. Or run behind the car. It's good exercise for them. On that subject, I've been driving the Renault 4. So we've got an early Renault 4 in the UK, and I can't talk about how it drives yet because there's an embargo on it, but I'm not sure that's big enough in the back seats. I'm definitely not big enough for Stephen.
No.
But I was quite surprised actually that how cramped it felt in the back. So we're going to be testing that. We're going to be doing a triple test next week with that car. So yes, if you aren't already, do subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I've got the Puma. So it's the first time I've driven the Puma.
What do you think? I liked it.
There are a couple of things. Well, this one is the entry level one.
Right.
And it doesn't have driving modes. Driving modes is something you only get on the posher models, unless I can't find the button. But people say it's on the steering wheel. I had a look on some reviews, had a look in the instruction book. It's on the steering wheel, the button to do the driving modes. It's not there. And I stopped, pulled over and had a look. So I don't know what the other ones are like, but this one feels like it's sort of permanently stuck in a sport mode. So it's all a bit pointy and...
Yeah, it's a very pointy, sporty car. Yeah. That's interesting. I don't remember that being a thing when I drove it, but obviously I would have driven, because they always give you top spec, don't they, on a launch?
Yeah. So that's a bit odd. But the boot is a bit of a surprise, because I put my bag in the boot that went to the airport yesterday, and then you have to call a search party and like get those mining lamps to go and find it, and it's huge.
Yeah, you can hide a body in there, because I put Vicky Parrott in there, didn't I, in the video? You can put an entire body underneath the boot floor. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. Yeah.
Okie doke. Right, let's move on to some of your comments. And not surprisingly, Nicola's adventures with her Lego set had quite a lot of comments.
No.
We had Jay Wolf, who we've always wondered how we pronounce Jay Wolf's YouTube name, and now we know it's Jay Wolf, who said, Nicola, a true Lego builder would have dismantled it and rebuilt it.
Did I say I was a true Lego builder? No. I think did I reply to him? I think
you did, and I like your reply. Look, this is Nicola's reply. Look, for all Lego lovers, I apologise. It was a choice of saw off a piece with a steak knife or throw the whole thing across the room. I think I made the right choice. I think you did.
I did, because Tom was having a go at me for cutting off a little bit with a steak knife. But at that point, I was about 12 hours in. And I had already been on the cusp
and 3
of throwing
bottles
it
of
across,
wine.
and well, it was 2 actually. But I was already on the cusp of throwing it across the room, and I was like, I can't, because I have to complete it. I have to make it look nice, and I can get away with this. So everyone just needs to get over it. All right, and I apologise. I'm sorry for letting down the Lego community.
My son was obsessed with Lego. We still have a cupboard that is just packed with every single, those cars that are thousands of pieces. We've got an Aston Martin DB5. We've got all the Star Trek stuff, every single set. And I always found it was very helpful having a 7-year-old around when you did any kind of Lego build.
I don't have that. I've got 2 dogs, and they'll just eat the pieces. So what am I supposed to do?
I think Rodney and Larry need to up their game a little bit, because it's small children I find massively helpful with complicated Lego sets.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. I'll borrow my nieces and nephews.
What else have people been saying, Nicola?
So what have we got here? This is at Train Driver Dan. Hi, Dan. Regarding spare wheels and tyre foam kits, lucky enough not to have had used one, but I own an Omoda E5, and as far as I know, it's the only new EV on sale today that comes with a full-size spare wheel. Even better, there's still enough storage space under the boot floor to keep your charging cables, which is very handy. Now, this is off the back of Tom having a puncture in his tyre, and then realising that he was then using the foam incorrectly, because you're supposed to then spin the wheel round, and it was all a big drama, wasn't it, for you, Tom?
I felt a bit silly. Yeah.
Do we miss spare tyres, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're handy when you need them. Obviously, you don't need them all the time. It's only like, a 1 in 10 chance that's going to happen. But it happened to Tom.
I'm not convinced. I think foam kits are all right. I think if you have a puncture once every 5 years, the fact you have to drive around with 20 kilograms of alloy wheel in your boot, and the extra cost of that, and the extra energy consumption, and lack of space, etc., etc. I'm just cool. And you call the RAC anyway, or the AA. So
other breakdown companies are available. But that would account for the fact that the Omoda E5, I don't think, is one of the most efficient cars that we've driven. So if it's lugging that it's lugging a spare wheel around with it. Tom, what else have we had?
Radfu says, I don't think V2G from Octopus offer is that great, even if you're someone who leases a car, in my opinion. I'm more interested in V2H on my own car after charge at the cheap rate. That is true. I mean, I looked at the figures on that Octopus V2G deal.
You were having to plug in a lot.
Yeah, for was it 20 times a month for 12 hours?
Yeah.
And basically, if you've got one of those BYD Dolphins, which is part of that deal, and you're doing 7,500 miles, I think the electricity on Octopus Intelligent would cost you about £10 a month. So you're saving £10 a month, and you have to have a BYD Dolphin, which you might want anyway, but it's not giving you the greatest choice.
But it got them a load of it got them a load of headlines.
It did, and I like the idea of V2G. I think that's a thoroughly good thing in this day and age. But V2H, if you can just use the energy for your own house, it's a lot simpler.
It is a lot simpler. It is. And interestingly, Lewis Peck 3792 commented on YouTube. Interested to know if vehicle to grid affects battery degradation. If your car is constantly plugged in, charging and discharging, surely that will reduce the health of the battery, or have I got that wrong? Not such a problem on a lease because you're handing it back to Octopus, but if it becomes more universal, is that something we need to think about?
It's a really good
point. And I haven't really gone Tom.
I do. I know the answer. because I went on a workshop with Nissan a couple of years ago when they announced their V2G, and the engineers think it actually does the battery good.
Okay.
And I don't understand how, but of course they're not constantly discharging and charging. But if you completely discharge a battery and completely charge it to full, that does it no good. But they quite like being tickled around the middle. So in and out.
Don't we all?
So yeah, they did some studies and said the batteries that have this V2G and they're in and out a little bit just keeps them at a nice temperature. They were lasting longer than the ones that were being used normally. So
Johnny, good. Right, Nick, what else have we got?
Now these are some comments on your Astra video that you guys did together. So this is a message from SB5633 who says, I think instead of thirsty, an EV is more drainy when it drains the battery more than it should. So ICE cars are thirsty for gasoline or petrol, whatever, and EVs are drainy because of battery drainage.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I think we should start to incorporate that into our reviews now.
It's a bit drainy.
It's quite drainy.
Yeah.
I like it. Any other suggestions of what we could use? Because I think you're right. Thirsty is perhaps not the right one to use. So let us know in the comments below. Of course, you can always email the podcast with your car buying questions, with your comments, with your thoughts, just to say hello. That is podcast@electrifying.com.
I also really like this comment. This is from Tony Barton 3746, who says, I'm at the age where I quite like laggy systems because other ones are too fast for my old brain.
Excellent. Tom, you were asking for stereo tester songs. Have you put any to the test?
Stereo.
I have,
because
it's a good word, isn't it?
Lots
stereo.
Stereo. It reminds me of, used to have your stereo and you used to get your stereo nicked. That's probably a thing from our age, isn't it?
Those are the days.
Nicola doesn't know what stereo means.
I do know what stereo means. I'm not that young as much as I look it. Thank you.
Lots of suggestions for stereo. So Money for Nothing. I tried that. That's
good.
That
one.
really does work. Yeah. Born Slippy from Underworld.
That's a great shout. That's a great shout. Yeah.
And Billie Jean has also been suggested, which does sound very good. So
nice.
There's some other ones I wasn't so keen on, but
because this is off the back of because we were talking about Steve Fowler likes to test different cars' sound systems with the same song, and he always goes for Diana Ross, "I'm Coming Out." Because the intro,
I love that song.
I was like, that is so camp. I love this for you. He said the intro to that song, the opening of that song, just perfectly tests the sound in every car.
Oh, okay. Because it was keep them coming. Do let us know. And also let us know about your real world testing as well. So we've got some real world testing from you. Daryl W7073 said, hello, Electrifying team. Just to share with the team, I recently drove the Hyundai Insta between Birmingham and Manchester, and to my surprise, after completing the journey, the car did 4.8 miles per kilowatt hour. Wow.
Hey.
I was driving on eco mode with air condition with an automatic cruise control speed of 65 miles per hour and no AC. I take it you weren't doing it in the recent heat wave. Goodness me.
No AC. My goodness. No just AC. Sweating the whole time.
It's really brave.
It's just a puddle of water as soon as it gets out.
But yeah, keep the comments coming in. Anything, what do you think of the app for your car? Have you picked up an electric car recently? Do you agree with what we said about it in the review? Drop us an email, podcast@electrifying.com, or you can message us in the comments if you're watching on YouTube.
Now, Ginny, I think you should read the next one, and we could just
one.
fade out. You see, because we need our Christmas party paid for.
Is it time to say goodbye?
Yeah, here's what we'll do. We'll say our goodbyes now. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Comments, subscribe, follow wherever you're listening. And we're going to leave you with Ginny reading this really, really lovely message that's come through from Stephen Muddle 1383.
We should probably explain why, though, to people who don't know about the swear jar.
I don't know if maybe it does need explaining. Yeah, because there has to be the Skoda Enyaq swear jar because it's mentioned so much from Ginny Buckley.
Ginny mentions it so much that we put a tax on it to pay for our Christmas party, where she has to give £1 for every time she mentions the Skoda Enyaq. Which
is really becoming ridiculous because it's obviously a bit of a benchmark car that we use for lots of comparisons.
Ginny, we read the comments. That's what we do on this podcast. Mm-hmm. So it's only fair that you read this.
I'll say
Manos will fade it into black, and that will be the end of the podcast.
I'll say goodbye. Thanks for joining us. As Nicola said, subscribe, like, all of that stuff. Okay. Stephen Muddle, the last word on the podcast this week is over to you. You need to get Ginny to read out this post. There you go. If she does, that's your Christmas party paid for, courtesy of Ginny. Laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji. And the post says, Skoda Enyaq, 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 Skoda Enyaq.
No.